Is 3 at 3. 3 at 3 every business day. I bring you what's going on in the markets and what you can do about it as far as things that might not occur to someone else who doesn't have our heat seeker algorithm. We find unusual activity, we act on it. I've got some great examples of that for you today. This is our disclaimer. It says simply that this is presented for educational and informational purposes only. I am not your financial advisor. You need to understand that all options involve risk. All investments involve risk. Intellectual property, we have registered marks, trademarks, copyrights, and patents on everything I'm about to present. So please, before you reproduce it in any fashion, ask us first. Thank you. My buddy Jocko, there is no shortcut. There is no hack. There is only one way. So get after it. That's what we're doing right now. Starting with Nuance. This one hit and I was kind of going, wow, that's a big trade. 10,200 of the Nuance May 47 calls went off like that. Bang, big trade. Stock spiked too. How much did the stock spike? Well, the stock's 45.05 as of when we posted that, and the stock was up pretty good on the day. There are the options that they were buying. Again, May 47s, there they are. The May 47 calls in Nuance, 11,119 of those. So when we saw it, 10,200, it's done about another 1,000 of those, and they're up 14% on the day. Very strong activity in Nuance. You know what they do, stuff very similar to Siri, voice to transcription and so forth. Keep your eye on Nuance, N-U-A-N. I own it. Also, this is our daily crypto bite. Every day at 10 a.m. Eastern, we talk about the unusual activity in crypto. I'm looking for unusual volume. These two gentlemen, Matt and CJ, are looking for technical breakouts as well as projects that look like they are projects that we should be following closely and that might cause altcoins to spike. They have been very accurate at this throughout their careers. They're young guys, but their careers have already been 5 years in the making because they were harvesting coins, mining as they call it, when they were in college. And you can join the crypto trading room, $1 for your first month. That's all it'll cost you, $1. If you decide, nope, not for me, walk away, it costs you $1. If on the other hand, you're like thousands of others who elect to stay in that room, it's $29 a month. It's not a lot of money. Obviously, hard to make that little or lose that little on a single trade in crypto. But take a look, see if it's for you. You'll get a lot of tips about the altcoins, not just Bitcoin, oh, it's going to 1 million and all that stuff. It's very thoughtful. It's presented in an interesting and very easy to follow manner. I'd encourage you to check it out. Thank you. Go to marketrebellion.com/try crypto for that $1 first month cost. All right, let's do the second trade. Box. Yeah, I saw unusual activity in Box, and yes, 10,500. You know, folks, that every option is for 100 shares of stock. So 10,500 is an awful lot of stock. It's almost 1,000,001 shares of stock. How do I know? Put 2 zeros on the end of that. It is over 1 million shares of stock equivalent because 10,000 options is 1 million shares. So this is a big trade. Somebody jumped in and bought a just out of the money call, the April 24s with the stock at 23.70. I told my friends at CNBC, they ran the headline. Here's what the story is. Starboard, which is an activist investor group, they own about 8% of shares. They said, we think maybe you should put your shares up for sale. You're not getting enough value on your own. Wow. So what happened to the stock? Well, this happened to the stock. Take a look. It spiked up over 26. That's a new 52-week high. And look at the volume. Normal is 2.9 million. If you're a regular viewer and listener, you know that I love to watch volume. When I see volume spikes, I know that means institutional involvement. And to take it to 18.7 million from 3 million, that's a lot. 6 times normal volume. I want to be in there with those guys. Now that's publicly available information that I disclose to you, that Starboard is pushing them to sell the company. It doesn't mean that I know anything about the company being sold. I only know what I saw on Trade the News and what CNBC has printed. However, being in these calls, I don't know if I'll be in them all the way till April expiration, because maybe something happens and maybe it doesn't. But I've already taken some nice profits off on this trade. Bang! I'd encourage you, if you would like to follow what Pete and I do, or any of our folks over at Market Rebellion, from the crypto guys to the futures guys to the stocks to the charts to the options, all of that at Market Rebellion. As you see, we're up over 15,000 subscribers now. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for sharing it with your friends. If you go to YouTube and you type Market Rebellion, as I've done there in that search bar, you will see our YouTube site. And then you could elect to subscribe, which costs you absolutely zero, costs you nothing to subscribe. And yet you'd get Pete's daily commentary, my daily commentary, AJ Monty's weekly commentary, my podcasts and so forth, which will be featuring my performance coach, Wendy. We just taped that one, and that one's going up shortly. Check it out. You go to YouTube, you type Market Rebellion, and you subscribe. You get it all for free. Now let's talk about QS. Why? Well, because this is a Kathy Woods special. And I have been following Ms. Woods in many of her trades. And this was one I was happy to have identified years ago that when she spoke of it. And this one has come public recently, but she was following it when it was private. Now, QS is publicly traded, bullish call buying, stock's $60 and 42 cents. They're buying upside calls. That's noteworthy for me. Why? They're buying $20 out of the money calls. They think the stock could jump between now and a month from now by $20. Don't you want to be on stocks like that? I do. So, put on a trade, and there it is, stock $63.76. It's up $3 since I posted the unusual option activity, because that went up on our website, and then I spoke about it on halftime. And as you see, previous close was 59. So far today, hitting the highs of the day, 63.93. Bang! That's why we trade options, folks. Want to see a trade that I did? I did this one. I don't like buying way out of the money calls. I don't like buying the 80 calls when the stock's at 60 and a half. So what did I do? I bought these, the April 65 calls, for $4.50. And what did I sell against it? Sold these April 75s for $3. So if I pay $4.50, collect $3, net out of pocket $1.50, which is $150 per spread. Again, every option's for 100 shares of stock. So by putting $150 down, if you're somebody who likes to trade and simulate 1,000 shares, it would cost you $1,500. For me, somebody that likes to trade 100 of these, which would represent 10,000 shares, it's $15,000. Still, look at either of those. 1,000 shares of this $60 stock would be $60,000. You control 1,000 of it for $1,500 by doing the spread that I just described. And it's still right there in the range. Let's see, right now it looks like $2-ish is where the spread is. I put it on for $1.50 because I put it on when the stock was 60 and a half. But watch this one. Again, it's not advice. I am not your financial advisor. I'm telling you how to cut risk, how to address vega, volatility, how to address time decay, theta, with both of these two, one versus one spread. Now let's talk discipline. I always talk about discipline to cut losses and to take profits off the table. You need to focus on discipline every day of your trading career, just as I do. It will make you a better trader. It will help you put more money and keep it in your pockets where it belongs. Let's do some questions. At Jon Najarian, at 3@3_UOA. First one comes to us from Craig, and his handle is at CTBRECHEISEN. All right, Craig, let's see. John, many days this stock has a high call volume, but the stock doesn't move. Can you help me understand what's happening here? Thank you and appreciate your help. $DNN. I'm going to keep a closer eye on this one, DNN, Craig. It hasn't lit up on my lists. I can't remember ever trading it, in fact. I may have, but I don't remember it. So maybe it trades high volume because people are selling calls on the bid. Maybe they own stock or this ETF and are selling calls that way. I don't know. I'm going to look into it further, but this is not one that I am in, Craig. Tax, Trey Sheehan, and Trey's handle is at TRESHEEHAN, the number 3, Trey Sheehan 3. What do you think the chances are of financial transaction tax passing? 1%. 1%. Why? Because I think they're just trying to gangster some money out of Wall Street and the various firms by floating this out there. They do it all the time. They float it out there. You don't want to know how fast the volume would go offshore. There are so many places it could go offshore. So I do not think this is going to pass. If it did, would it hurt volumes in the U.S.? Oh, yeah, you'd kill the New York Stock Exchange. You would kill NASDAQ if you put on a tax on transactions, because they would just flow over to the London Stock Exchange. Let me see. Where would there be an exchange that has just left the European Union and would love to have all that order flow that normally flows through the New York Stock Exchange? Might be London, right? Could it be in Singapore? Could it be in Hong Kong? Could it be in the Cayman Islands? Folks, with a server and co-located servers that would quickly spring up around it, you would see all of the volumes, literally all of them, flow overseas. So if this happened, Bermuda, London, Caymans, Singapore, Hong Kong, you name it, it would go somewhere other than the United States. It would be a very sad day, and it would have the exact opposite effect. Instead of generating income, a lot of the income that it would generate would be taxed offshore, not taxed here. Let's talk about MRO, Marathon. Caesar Diamond Hands, and his handle is Motendies. Love those tendies. At MOTENDIES. Those MRO June calls have pulled back from when you reported the unusual activity. Thoughts? Always got thoughts. We've seen crude oil pull back, or Caesar. We've seen it pull back dramatically. I mean, crude oil has pulled back with the Brent version trading up near 70 to trading down into the 63 range. We've seen the US WTI break 60 after being up in the mid-60s. So I think it's just tied to that, my friend. So I think as soon as we stabilize, those both go back and Marathon goes back up. Thank you for asking. Reopen play. Alex Stock asks, and Alex's handle is at STAUCH09. Best reopening play right now. I'm going to go with Expedia. Why? Because they own VRBO, Vacation Rental by Owners. It's a competitor to Airbnb. It was the only part of their business that was actually growing during the pandemic. Obviously, it's going to do a lot better now, although Europe's got to get its act together, Alex. You and I both know that. They got to get the vaccinations rolled up, going, get the jabs in arms. If they do that, Europe will reopen, and a lot of VRBOs, Airbnbs will be the best play, I think. So thank you for the question, Alex. Let's do this one. Jedi. Oh, young Jedi. Jedi, and his or her handle is at _Jedi, JEDI _Knight, N-I-G-H-T. Nice nautical theme you got there on halftime. Thank you, Jedi. That's correct. Andrew Coffey found that one and brought it in here to the office. Andrew does the videos around here, as well as posting up these questions that you see every day. And Andrew found that boat and brought it in here, and it's been a good luck charm for us, so it's stayed there, and it probably will stay for a very long time. It's kind of cool. And yeah, pirates love them. Great book. The Republic of Pirates, I think it was. Again, Andrew turned me on to that one. And it's on Netflix. Go to Netflix. I think it's a 7 or 8 part series. It's all about how pirates, believe it or not, were the first iterations of a democratic republic that we have here in the United States. I know you're thinking, how is that possible? Go watch it. It's interesting. I'm not saying it's great. It's interesting. You'll learn a lot about pirates, how they came to be, how they were all mainly sailors that worked as sailors for the English, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and so forth, Dutch. And then when the wars stopped, they didn't have jobs. They had to earn a living somehow. They became privateers or pirates. Very interesting. Anyway, folks, thank you for joining me today. Please, before you go, make sure, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're somebody that would like to learn about how to trade unusual option activity, I'm going to be doing that this week on Wednesday, I believe, with my friend Ryan Mastro. We're going to be doing a special on that after the close, 4 p.m. Eastern. And if you'd just like to go on our website now and learn more about unusual option activity, then by all means, go to marketrebellion.com and check it out. Thank you, folks. I hope you have a great day. Let's make it a great one, and I'll see you back for Crypto Bite tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, and then again, 3 at 3 tomorrow afternoon. Bang. Thank you.